I want to build the American identity. And that American identity must be something different and separate, even if it is very similar to a Christian identity. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Let's party. So, guys, you may have seen that we've been doing a series on the live streams about Dennis Prager's masterclass gone over by Rationality Rules and showing how dogmatic thinking is ruining Dennis Prager's message. So if you have not, then we have a little clip here that I want to go through with you. And if you enjoy this, then I will link in the description parts 1 and 2. And we still have part 3 coming up of this guy, Rationality Rules, an atheist, going over Dennis Prager's masterclass. And so if you know me, I am a conservative atheist, and I believe that dogmatic thinking on either side is one of the worst things you can do, whether you believe that there's a God in the sky or you believe that a male can turn into a female. Those are the biggest things that are creating division in our political discourse today. So let's see what's going on behind the paywall at Prager U.
If you're a fan of Dennis Prager and or The Daily Wire, I think you're going to want to see this. What follows is a segment from a video we recently produced on the notion that the religious are happier than the non-religious.
And again, we've done 2 parts so far. The thumbnail that's on screen here, that is part 3 that we're going to be covering probably this week, maybe next week. So make sure you subscribe and see you there.
But it deserves a spotlight because, by my lights at least, it's proof that Dennis Prager and The Daily Wire think that their audience, you, are idiots. Put it this way, if one of the sources I tend to visit did what you're about to see, I'd have a very serious problem.
So again, if you don't know me, I'm a huge fan of The Daily Wire, and I'm a big fan of Dennis Prager. What I'm not a fan of is people on the right gatekeeping morality by saying you have to believe in this thing. I'm a huge fan of Christian values. I grew up in the Catholic Church. I was confirmed in the Methodist Church. But I just don't believe that God exists. I could be convinced, but I don't believe that. Why does that mean that I can't be part of the club of people who respect grace and community and kindness and all of the things that are taught in the church? Why am I not invited?
Here it is. You make of it what you will.
So let me give you some data from the National Institutes of Health, National Library of Medicine. Data suggests that adherence to religious beliefs is associated with lower rates of suicide. Would you say that that's significant?
Sure.
A number of factors have been hypothesized to explain this association, including enhanced social support, less substance abuse, and lower rates of psychopathology.
Now, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. If you're going to church and you believe in all these things and you're following the teachings, then that makes perfect sense. But again, what if I can't believe in those things? I've tried. I spent half of my life trying to get closer to God, and it left me an atheist. And so now you're telling me that I am living wrong, even though I'm living exactly the same way you are, just with one little difference.
Well, that's all.
That's all.
That's all religion gives you. Let's review that.
Is that what religion gives you? Or is that what the Christian values? Is that what the values of respecting community, all the things I listed before, is that what gives it to you?
Enhanced social support, less substance abuse, and lower rates of psychopathology. That's pretty powerful.
Do you want to know what's actually pretty powerful?
Yes.
Showing the title of one study, namely Religion and Suicide, New Findings, but when zooming in, showing an abstract from a completely different study.
Come on. Really, Prager? What happened? That's disappointing.
A study titled Religious Beliefs Buffer the Impact of Depression on Suicide Ideation. To make this clearer, here on the left you can see the study that Dennis reads the title of, and on the right you can see the abstract of a completely different study he zooms into.
So if you are presenting information in this way, which is a dishonest way, how strong is your actual point? if you have to lie, then maybe your point isn't that strong. So instead of lying, figure out the right answer.
That's all.
Except it's not all, is it, Dennis? Because you didn't just read a completely different
No.
abstract,
Oh, no.
but evidently added your own paragraph to it.
No, he didn't. Oh my God.
Yeah. Here on the left is what the actual study's abstract states, whereas here on the right is the screenshot Dennis shows and reads out to his
Wow.
audience.
So we can see that, you know, in the actual study that he quoted from, it goes through the whole thing, but then it ends with, you know, assessing individual self-deletion risk. So we look over here to what we actually saw on the right and assessing individuals for self-deletion risk. But then there's more. Where did this come from? Where did the highlighted stuff come from?
You can even see above his added paragraph that it's the same abstract.
Mhm.
It's even got the same font, same hex colors, and the same keywords. So did Dennis and his team add their own text to a study to bolster their case? Are they seriously that crooked? Well, if we check the Wayback Machine, we can see that the site hasn't changed since it was published, which is standard for studies. And if we Google the text that Dennis and the Daily Wire have added, we can see just one result comes up.
So I'm not sure how the Daily Wire fits into all of this because Dennis Prager is not part of the Daily Wire. So very curious to see where they fall into this. But certainly, Prager caught red-handed. We are supposed to be the people who have the better ideas. So why are you lying about them? Because you're lying about the religious part. That part is not as good or strong as you think it is. And you know that. Otherwise, you wouldn't have lied.
But get this, it's from yet another study, a study titled Religiosity as a Protective Factor Against Suicidal Behavior.
So he's just mishmashing 3 different studies to say, oh, I'm right. And then you want to... The medical community, the psychological community, all of this has already been infested with corruption from leftists. Now you want to add your own? How is that helping anybody? How can you? I don't understand how you could sit on such a moral high ground, on your high horse, and look at all the actual depravity that goes on the left, and not just think, hey, my worldview is better than that, so let me just represent my worldview. Why lie? Guys, if you are enjoying this video, the party never ends. That is right. There is a link to the Discord in the description and the pinned comment where the party never ends. We are always in there. We're always hanging out. There's a voice channel that we go into and do our panel discussions after every single live stream. After every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. live stream, we go in there. We're all talking. And it's not just you clickety-clacking. You get to talk and you can cam up if you want to. All of that stuff. We got contests going on. Definitely check it out if you are enjoying this.
A study whose conclusion reads, religiosity has a protective effect against suicide attempts, which is independent of social functioning, psychopathology, and substance use. But what Dennis did was take the objective and then paste it into another study to present it as if it's the conclusion, and to then paste both of these slices under the title of a third study.
So we have 3 different pieces of 3 different studies. And they are all studies about religion and self-deletion. So why not just pick the best one? Because again, maybe your confirmation bias is telling you that, well, oh, I already know the answer. Remember, dogma. I already know that religion is good. So it doesn't matter if I lie to people. Well, in my mind, it does.
Would you say that that's significant?
Yes, I would. In fact, I'd say that it's a damn disgrace. I cannot understate how unethical and immoral this is. The paper they steal the objective from even states, contrary to Dennis, that there were no differences in social functioning or rates of psychopathology among the study groups.
And lower rates of psychopathology.
So
Come
there you
on,
have
man.
it, folks. Dennis and the Daily Wire were so desperate to justify their bigotry.
Again, I'm not sure where the Daily Wire folds into any of this. This is from Dennis Prager's master program behind his own paywall. And Dennis Prager is not part of the Daily Wire. Like, Prager U is its own thing. So maybe I'll get into it. But look, I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair to everybody. And Prager, you messed up. Daily Wire, I don't know what you did wrong. I don't know what he's talking about with that. But maybe let's see if he brings something else out.
That they've cherry-picked a title from one study, an abstract from another study, and digitally stitched in the objective from yet another study as to present it as a conclusion.
Again, I agree that this Dennis Prager is absolutely wrong for that. Where is the Daily Wire at fault for anything?
Well, that's all.
That is absurd. Utterly breathtaking. Look, I can understand if you disagree with me, but if you endorse this level of manipulation, God help you, because your conscience sure as hell can't. Now, what if I told you that this level of manipulation is a frequent occurrence from Dennis, Prager U, and the Daily Wire? That they assure you that it's secular, atheist people like me that are deprived, manipulative, and consider you foolish.
And all that does is push people who already agree with how we should behave in society. They already agree with the society that you want. But because of that thing that you are secular, because of that thing that you don't have the belief, well, now you get pushed over. You get pushed aside. And who's there to welcome you with open arms? The leftists. The trans activists. If you want to beat these people, you have to be better than these people.
Yet it's them that manipulate data, and, by extension, you.
Okay, let's not act like data manipulation is only going one way. Let's be serious.
By trusting that you won't question their reporting. They treat you like mushrooms, keeping you in the dark and feeding you shit. They don't respect you.
Well, that's all.
Well, if you'd like to see more instances of such manipulation, then consider watching our playlist on Dennis Prager's Master's Program.
So these are all the videos that we are covering in my live stream of exactly what he's saying. So he goes in depth of Dennis Prager's master course and picks it apart. And all of the on the specific topic of religion and where it plays a role in politics. And in my opinion, it shouldn't. It should not at all. Politics should be politics and religion should be religion. And if there is a huge overlap, fantastic. I want to build the American identity. And that American identity must be something different and separate, even if it is very similar to a Christian identity. I cannot own a Christian identity because despite trying for years and years and years, I do not believe in the truth claims. As much as I am in favor of almost all of the values that come from Christianity that we employ today, almost, I simply cannot be part of your club. And if that little piece, the truth claim, is enough for you to tell me that my politics are wrong, then what do you expect from somebody who's maybe not as strong-willed as me to go over to the people who are accepting of them? This is what dogmatic thinking does to political discourse. Please stop it. Stop it. Question everything. Maintain your skepticism. And just be honest. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Don't forget about that Discord link. Come and say hello. And of course, at the live show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. This is Morty. I've been your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.